behalf of
This
the Bangalore
conference
Chamber
will
of
now
Industrial
be
Commerce,
recorded.
we welcome each one of you to this virtual session on effective configuration of accounting and inventory masters in Tally to save time and to enhance efficiency. In time like this, we need to stay connected and stay positive. This session is being organized under the aegis of Indirect Tax Expert Committee of BCIC in association with Tally Solutions Private Limited. We would like to especially thank Mr. G. Shivadas, Chair and Senior Advocate, and Mr. Badrinath, Co-Chair and Partner SDU of the Indirect Tax Committee, and also Mr. Arvind KS, Member of the Indirect Tax Export Committee and Associate Vice President Tally Solution, for curating this session for the benefit of our members at this crucial period. The speaker for today's session is Mr. Alias, who is a Tally evangelist. He is a trainer for Tally customers events across Tamil Nadu and has handled corporate training in GST and implementing GST in Tally ERP 9. Today's session will be led and moderated by Mr. Badri, co-chair and partner SDU. On behalf of the BCIC, we express our sincere thanks to Mr. T. Eliarasan for accepting our invitation to address on this important subject. We also would like to thank all the participants for joining for today's session. We request all of you to kindly mute your mic and webcam options. This is to enhance and keep the bandwidth strong, as well as avoid any disturbance in the background. Please post your questions in the chat box only. Also be viewing the chat box for any specific instruction given by the organizer from time to time. The speaker will respond to the questions during the session, and in case time do not permit, we shall be sharing the queries to the speaker and we shall revert back to you accordingly. Kindly note the organizers will be disconnecting those participants who switch on their mic or webcam despite of our frequent request. May I now invite Mr. Badrinath to set the context for today's subject and also moderate the session. Thanking you once again to all. Over to you, Badrinath.
Yeah, thanks, Prithvi. Thank you so much. First thing, Mr. Eliarasan, thank you so much for doing this today. We heartily welcome you. And sir, before the mic to you, I'll maybe take 2 minutes to just set the context as Prithvi was mentioning. I should say this. I've been seeing Tally from my articleship days. I was doing my articleship in 96 to 99. So since then, I've been seeing Tally. Yes, it has grown multifold from what it was to what it is today. And I'm sure there is a lot more to expect from Tally also. On various occasions, I've had a chance to meet up and discuss quite a few things with Mr. Bharat Goenka himself. And yes, I should say that the energy, the focus that Mr. Bharat Goenka himself, starting from the top in the organization, show for making Tally easy, making it more and more valuable, there is no iota of doubt in that. Right? So Tally is something, yes, I don't think it needs any introduction. I think I'm wasting my time if I want to say what Tally is, etc. Right? But yes, today's topic, which sir will walk us through, is more on significance from a business perspective. In the sense, it is more on the effective configuration of that. All of us would have heard this something called GIBO. It's called garbage in, garbage out. So very importantly put, the quality of what we get out of Tally is directly dependent on the quality of the input that we give. If we send in garbage, please expect the same thing in return. It cannot, it cannot process something from vacuum and give us information. So Mr. Eliarasan will walk us through in terms of how to effectively configure the various aspects in Tally and more focused manner on the inventory aspects. I think not capturing the data in a right manner or not setting the processes in a right manner to ensure the skeleton is ready. I think anything else, okay, let me put it this way. There is this knowledge graph. I don't know how many of you have heard this, data converts into information, information converts into knowledge, and knowledge converts into wisdom. The starting point in this graph, is data. If we go wrong in configuring and capturing something at the data entry level, then I think expecting anything from it in form of an information or wisdom or knowledge, I think it's a fallacy. So, sir, with these words, I will leave it to you. We look forward to hearing from you on effective configuration and specifically inventory masters in Tally. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Badri. Thank you, Badri. I'm also switching off my camera. Thank you once again, Prithvi. Thank you for your introduction. And thank you, the entire organizers and the Tally team, Arun sir, and everybody in Tally for giving me this opportunity of being present along with you and have some few memorable sessions to come. Fine. Thank you, everyone. Might be the topic a little bit somewhat simpler, or often we might have heard on a day-to-day basis. Though yes, a common man may think like, what is speaking it? What we have already been seeing, this thing already there in the mind of everyone sitting over here. But I do have few things which we think it is easy, or which we think it is simple, but we miss at the flow of our work. So I bring all of your attention. What are some wherever these simple things are there, and particularly there's a session. The objective is to improve the efficiency and to enhance our productivity out of small preparatory thing in our day-to-day configuration in Tally. This is the main objective towards the entire session. So I hope at the end of the session, probably might be many of you might have already seen that features, or might have already experienced those configuration, but a little bit of recollecting on those things. Anyway, thank you again, all of your patience, and let's begin. Okay, the agenda of the day is like this. I just put across some list. Fine. Here, understanding the list of accounting masters and inventory masters in Tally. What are all things available here? What are those components here? Then a small thing, Alias. We might be using Alias, but what are all some peculiar things associated in this Alias name while creating the ledger name or inventory name? Then there is a concept called mailing name in our accounting ledger creation. So these are all we are going to see. Then understanding various advanced information associated with the masters. Advanced configuration used today. When you press an F12 configuration, there is an option called advanced entries to be configured, advanced information to be configured. So we will see what are all the relevance of all those things. Then we have F12 configuration in every master creation screen. What is going to bring? Then managing the multiple locations of a supplier or customer under a single ledger master. Though this sentence seems to be simple, I just want to explain this sentence in a small example. Let's say my customer is put upon his office across various states in India. So I deal with this particular customer across various states in India, or might be in one particular state he may have different GST numbers. I bill to that particular customer across different location to different GST numbers. But in my financial records, I wanted the entire financials, debits and credits, to be listed under one particular account, ledger account. Here, the biggest question is, when I want to bill it to a respective GST number, the address, the name, address, name might be the same, trade name might be the same, but the address is the GST number, all statutory information could be the different one. How to handle those things? So supplying material across different locations, having different statutory registration, but maintaining the financial records under one particular ledger account. Then desired grouping of accounting and inventory master. But this grouping arrangement makes the reader of financial reports easy, because the businessman wants something, the MIS or the reports, in his preference only. He doesn't want any sort of default grouping setup or something. He may have his own format of reporting all those things. How to do some basic corrections or creations in grouping and hierarchical setup of the accounting master, so that your report seems to be readable, or report seems to be much more closer to your businessman owner expectation. All those things are possible under this desired grouping of accounting and inventory masters. Let's see what are all the new things inside in it. Then basic configuration for GST, because GST is the all the more spoken out subject in this scenario. Therefore, well, there are many requirements across the industries, like just plug and play. How can I just take a report and just directly upload to the portal with no correction, nothing? Because Tally is the only tool wherein it has all the connected checks and balances, wherein a businessman or an accountant or a professional chartered accountant or be the professional finance professional has some reliable conclusion out of the reports. Therefore, everybody in the accountants field, I believe, any reports from a Tally would be a well authenticated one. Therefore, everyone wants a direct report to be uploaded to the GST portal, so that there won't be any ambiguity at all in the near future. In that case, what all needs to be done at the master level? Because many have across 10 people using Tally for the GST. I believe 4 or 5, maybe half, more than half, maybe directly uploading, but some may have maybe doing some sort of Excel working or some course correction at the end of the filing days, all those things. How to avoid all those things? Then, most common mistakes and basic precautions while creating the masters. So this is most vital. We should have some workflow or a checklist kind of thing to our data entry person or a person in an accounts manager level, wherein he has to periodically check, have some precautions while creating the master. It should be in a day-to-day exercise, wherein the errors and the small human mistakes could not be accumulated. So those precautions, I'll have a small briefing on it. Then recollecting some useful updates in master creation facility, that came up in my mind, because lot of things are there in smaller version upgrades and releases upgrades introduced by Tally. So I think many of you have also experienced that online access system that is working fantastically. That drill down option, everything is there in the recent past. That cost centers, many other reports, and download in an Excel format, everything been incorporated. Keep on improving much on that online access. Those are all most vital thing, along with some most needed statutory updates also. Okay, now we'll get into the subject detailed subjects. Then when talk about this accounting and inventory masters, the accounting masters by default, when I say accounting masters, I refer the accounts info menu in the gateway of Tally. By default, that accounts masters consists of accounting groups, everyone may know, accounting ledgers, voucher types. By default, it comes when I create a company without activating any features in F11. By default, it comes. Then, by activating the specific features in F11, I will get cost categories and cost centers. Where these cost categories and cost centers are used, you may know many are using for appraising their project-wise reporting or department-wise reporting. So many things are there. Our personnel-wise appreciation, personnel-wise reporting, all those things people are used to have this cost centers and cost categories facilities. Currencies, multiple currencies can be handled. I can configure along with my INR and some other currency, and I put up. I can put up my exchange rates. I can calculate my forex differences. I can account that forex differences. All those things are available in this currency, that is enabling multi-currency facility in F11 feature. Multi-currency facility. Budgets and controls. By keeping yes to this maintain budgets and controls, this again gives some another reporting system of scenarios and budgets. You have always, every businessman have some basic budgets, and over the budgets they may have some controls, and they want to have a variance how best they've done, or how worst they have lost it on the controls. All those things they want to analyze on every period, or every month, or every quarter, and whatever be the reporting period. Beyond that, scenarios, people, this terminology might have heard, but many I personally inquired with many, but many have not used this option masters also, because while moving towards regular day-to-day operations, these are all goes out of our control, because scenarios literally, in simple terms, I can say, like scenario, we can have some provisional reporting system, like adding some provisional entries without affecting the books of accounts. So after this training, go and have a look on these scenarios and how it works and all this, because provisional balance sheets, we call it as a rough work or something. We call it as some projections that we can keep it in Tally itself without affecting our financial books of accounts. That is one of the major invention in our 6.3 versions, I believe. Right from 6.3, the scenarios were there. Then coming to the inventory masters, by default we have this stock groups, and we have stock items, unit of measurement, and voucher types, transaction voucher types. In accounting masters also we had this voucher type. In this inventory master also we have this voucher types. Both talks the same thing, voucher types. Both this voucher type also consists of accounting as well as inventory voucher types. Then this one probably most might have missed it. Cost allocation detail. I'll just give you a small hands-on experiment on this particular option also, since you might have regularly doing rest of the masters. This we will take care of. This cost allocation details. Okay. This is nothing but we have an option in our stock item creation, default ledger allocation. Default ledger allocation. I can allocate the particular cost of a product, a particular revenue of a particular product to be reported on that particular ledger account. Default ledger allocation I can mention here. So how to copy those default ledger allocation in one particular stock item to the rest of the stock items or set of stock items. That is the key over here. We will have the practical hands-on over to this feature. Beyond this, by activating the above are the default features we have. Beyond that, F11 we can activate the godowns. Multiple locations we will be activating. In the godown creations, many have the option to capture their addresses also. If anybody have missed it, try configuring your F12 configuration and have the addresses of your godowns configured in the godowns option. And stock categories along with the stock groups. This is one of the peculiar arrangement wherein some classification of your inventory needs to be done, then we need a stock category. Like usually we used to have categories for a brand classifications, brand classification. What are all the products lying under a particular brand? All those things we used to have this stock categories. Then price list. This is also a most vital one. Many are even smaller people also in one-man, two-man company. So also just they require, sir, I don't want my operator to alter the prices. I want how to set a control on this thing, sir. Better have the price list for it. But better have the price list and have a small security control. Just protect the security control, not to alter the price list, or you can just have the control in the admin level of price list fixing. These are all small elements. Along with this, I wanted you everyone to experience with the security default security control. Now it has been enhanced so much. It has been enhanced so much to have some entry level, data entry level security, then the manager level security, and the supervisor level or the owner level security. All those security control just have to sit and work with system people or Tally support people to have some hierarchical arrangement in your security levels. So Tally, though these things are seems to be the easy one or already seen one, but nobody have experienced practically. Once they get in and hands-on experience on it, definitely you will feel that something vital thing I might have missed earlier. So that sort of an experience you will certainly get it once you actually do this practical things. Okay, let me just quickly get into Tally. That cost allocation, how it works. I will show you. Okay, here is one company. There, I'll just say, let's say I have only one product here. 3 products are there. Let's have some. Okay, here in my first product, I say here default ledger allocation in my configuration is there. This is what the option default ledger allocation. I have activated it. Then when I say default ledger allocation, I can allocate a particular sales ledger and purchase ledger for this particular ledger, particular product master. So I say local sales. This product will move to only local sale only. I can defaultly set this thing. I can say like purchases. Now set one particular ledger. Fine. This is how I say set it. Okay. Only in product I have set it. Okay. Here I have the cost allocation screen is there. When I go to the cost allocation, I have that default ledger allocation in product alone. I can take that product configuration, a single product ledger configuration, default ledger configuration to n number of products or to products lying under one particular stock group. To one particular stock group. Can I have a bit of just response from the audience side? How many of you seeing this as a new one? This is the first time you are seeing this thing. Can some of the audience raise upon the chat? Is this a new one or already seen this option? Cost allocation one. Please put up you in the chat itself. I'll proceed it. Okay, so this is how small things, though these are there in our default menu, those doesn't have, we might have not experienced it in the faster world in which we are living. Okay, now I'll just switch over to presentation now. Thank you for your patience here. Now, what is the importance of the alias? Alias name. Alias name in the ledger name. Sorry, in the inventory master's creation and the accounting master creation. Just tried before coming on to this session. I just tried how many aliases this Tally is with him. Just I have tried. You believe it or not, it is going beyond 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 lines are there. Only the screen is not able to capture those things. Well, this thing, what I say is, when you create a ledger, below to that, you have some alias is there. Many are totally skipped it, but the alias solves many purposes. I'll just list down few of these purposes which came into my mind. You people, better people than me, can explore so many things out of this option. How small things is structured in a fantastic manner in Tally. You people, business people, can explore out of it. Alias enables you to configure this additional name. Okay, fine. Usually in businesses, we have some vendor registration thing, vendor code creation, all those things we have. Okay, so along with your normal ledger name, you may have your vendor code without disturbing your reporting aspects, anything. So by this Tally, again, there are so many precautions over it. It should be a unique one. Alias name should not be a duplicate one of a ledger name. All those things are there because Tally will not allow you to create a duplicate name. These are all so many fantastic controls over in hand itself. Okay, alias name is also, we cannot create duplicate names in aliases. Then by creating a vendor code, a user knowing a vendor code can type a vendor code and pick up that ledger and put up entry. Or in product masters, inventory masters, sorry, the product masters, we used to have this barcode reading system. No, the product name could be your natural product name. In the alias name, you could have your barcode names, so that when you read your product by your barcode reader, Tally will automatically picks up the item master and while billing in the point of sale. These things are much more easier. So capturing barcode readable codes, product codes in an alias name is one of the vital option. Then programmers using the export, import, and integration, Tally is more flexible of interacting with so many external applications. So while integrating data with the Tally, the masters, many programmers may have some sort of a coding system in their ledgers, but Tally is a codeless accounting software. So again, to bridge the Tally data with an external data masters, many integration softwares are using some coding system. Those things can be configured in Alias. So Alias serves many purposes, real-time, most valuable purposes. It appears only in the list of names. People will say, sir, where it will come and disturb is this? Does this come and disturb in any regular reporting in our P&L balance sheet? If this comes, it will be a hard one or something. No, it will never come unless otherwise we configure it. In an F12 configuration, there is an option. We can have, or internally, we can have a configuration names along with alias, we can take it. Or by default, it comes only name only. Name only, it comes. No impact on the reports also possible. ledger names versus the mailing. This is one of the fantastic option in a real-time environment. You can see, like in ledger names, usually we used to have, I have seen in the automobile industry kind of a thing, wherein a single customer comes for two, three purposes. He comes for some smaller car, and again he comes for some luxury car, and like this, the same customer comes for twice or thrice. But each and every business relationship is different. Once he buys one car, that account closes, that goes up. But in that particular year, that ledger remains. So in automobile industry, particularly in the dealers industry, they want the same person, Ramachandran, Subramanian, whatever be the name, N. Ramachandran, same initial, same name, same spelling will be coming. So in that case, they used to have some sort of their own customer code within that bracket. So like the name suffixed with the customer code, they will be creating the ledgers in their accounting ledgers. But while printing the receipts and while printing the invoices, it should not be, and it would be a hard one. Then, though we have some sort of a customized name in the ledger name, I can have the regular name in the mailing name. The fantastic logic behind this regular name is regular name could be that doesn't have any connection with the ledger accounts, ledger masters. Therefore, for that particular ledger account, that mailing name is unique. Therefore, the person having the same spelling, same name, I can use it in the mailing name. So in that, whatever you put it in the mailing name, that comes in the invoice printout or all in your reports printouts. Okay. Then that too, in the reports also, to have those mailing names, we have a configuration, specific configuration. Ledger name, for example, for our day-to-day requirement, we may have alphanumeric, but mailing name could be a actual name that should be printed on invoices, that should be printed on receipts. Though these things are seems to be smaller one, but ensuring all these things have been followed in our business. These are all the small things that brings up the biggest confidence in maintaining the books of accounts in Tally. Okay, then comes up with the advanced information associated with the master creation. I just taken two advanced information alone. When you go for this configuration, F12 configuration, so many things are there. Only the creator developer alone knows, I believe, because we should have that much of patience to see those things. There are so many things are there. I'll just capture you some of the vital and the most crucial things which are beneficial in our day-to-day business activity. First thing, in accounting groups and accounting ledgers, if I activate this F12 configuration, in accounting groups, just a minute. Yes, sorry, we'll continue. In accounting groups, when I activate this advanced information here, group behaves like a subledger. In accounting groups, I have this group behaves like a subledger. Net debits and credits, balances for reporting, used for calculation. Examples: your taxes, discounts in sales invoices. Then method to allocate when used in purchase invoice. All these four appears only when you activate that F12 advanced information in grouping configuration. I'll just show you directly in the Tally itself. I'll just show you directly in the Tally itself. Here, accounting information, account groups creation, F12. Without that activation, advanced entries, advanced information, this is the screen. When I say advanced information in masters, those four things are appearing. Those four things are appearing. Okay, so let's understand these four things. The group behaves like a subledger. In sundry data and all, in reporting, we have some n number of ledgers. Those n number of ledgers, unless otherwise we need a separate reporting. In a balance sheet, we just want to have only sundry data. So your group will behave as a subledger in those type of reporting. Net debits and credits also will sounds good when we go for debits and credit entries in a particular ledgers coming under a particular group. So in that particular group, I want to have, let's say in a sundry debtor itself, there may be some ledgers having credit balances, there may be ledgers having some debit balances. If a businessman, I want to have a net, what is net receivable? Total net receivable means I can configure net debits, and otherwise it will come as a debit and credit different balances. Then use calculation for tax discounts and sales invoices. This is also another fantastic option when you have some additional informations. Anyway, in GST there is a concept called composite supply that takes care of everything. Even that discounts and all also Tally has new things which have been there, which we are going to see. Then method to allocation purchase invoice to have the additional cost, how it is to be apportioned to the product cost and all we have here. Then in accounting ledgers, inventory values are affected, will get enabled by configuring F12 configuration. In inventory master, inventory information, in stock item creation, the behavioral aspects, this is also one of the fantastic thing. I want everyone to have an hands-on experience on those things. These things are more crucial. The casting method that has in some formula, what is the inward values during the particular financial year, what is the inward quantity. Based on that formula, the casting method, average casting method comes up default. Then marketing valuation is there. So while pricing, this thing will help you. Then ignore differences due to physical counting. There is a voucher called physical voucher, physical stock voucher. When in that case, when we set up a physical stock, this option ignores those differences. Then as if whatever you declare in the physical stock would be taken at the inventory stock summary. Then ignoring the negative balances, we have control here. Then by going through this thing, two vital things I wanted to point of view, like the new treat all sales as new manufacture, treat all sales as new manufacture, and treat all purchases as new consumed. So let's take that new all sales as new manufacture. The scenario would be like this, where I may have some raw material, probably like I do not have any stock inventory with me. So, but I am a manufacturer, but I produce and give the products as and when the order comes. So when the order comes, I procure needed materials and I sell it to the customers. In that case, at any point of time, given point of time, there may be some work in progress, but I may not have any inventory. In that case, people say, so whatever I sell, that is manufactured one. So I do not have any inventory at all, sir. I do not have any this. I don't want to maintain any this inventory, but because I don't have any stock at all. In that case, whatever sale I put it, so without making this control, yes, if I put a sale with a product information, that product will appear in the stock summary as a negative values, as a negative value. So in that case, to eliminate that, if I say here yes, then all the sales will be considered as being newly manufactured and sold out. When you get into that particular product master, both the debits and credits will have the values. Similarly, in purchases, there are some consumables which may not be used in the, which may not be supplied, or some again we may not have put some stock journal, we may not have sold it or something. It is consumed internally means. So those things I can mark it as when it is purchased, it is consumed in the business. In that case also those stocks will not appear in the stock summary. These two things are most crucial in configuring the stock information, inventory information. Then I'll just take 5 or 10 minutes extra out of this today's schedule. I hope the organizers allow me. Okay. Then configurations in master creation. In accounting master, this is the configuration. Here alias name and languages is there. Beyond that, particularly I want to give you an experience on the ledgers addresses, which I told you, a company which have multiple operational locations across India, so that we can have only one ledger like that. So beyond that, so many other configurations is also there. So at least once after your Tally installation, the chief person in charge of the accounts or the businessman has to sit and have an hands-on experience on the particular configurations. Then you can invent so many things. Just an accountant or just a data entry person doesn't explore much on the available features. So we should have we should put some of the thoughts over it. Then in the inventory master, it again gives so many options like adding the part number, description, remarks, then default ledger allocation I have showed you. Now alternative units, we have in unit of measurement, simple unit, component unit. Along with it, some alternative unit measurement is also there. Then setting some standard rate, standard cost, and standard selling price. So by setting along, this is alternative to that price list also. Setting selling price. This selling price will be captured at the invoice level if you do not have your price list and other things. Then we have some bill of materials. Now in Tally, like we have a set of bill of material. BOM 1, BOM 2, BOM 3, BOM 4. So multiple BOM for a particular product. That is possible right now. So please have an experience on those things. These are all the configuration. By enabling this thing, we will get those information in our Tally screen. I'll just give you just hands-on visible experience on this thing. In the stock item, I have talked about these options, right? These are the options I have talked about. So inclusive tax, here one more configuration which I missed out. Then part numbers, the description, remarks, everything I am keeping yes. You see, so many things are available. The description available here, then remarks available here. So many things I can have it. Then now multiple locations for a particular ledger master. I'm just exploring few things alone, but I am just showing what are all the options available. If you really need to experience all those options, put a day and have spend some time and activate so many things and have a clear-cut idea on what are all possible. Maintaining multiple, first I have to activate in F11 feature. This maintain multiple mailing and details details of the company as well as the ledgers. Even in my company, I may have different addresses also. Like I can maintain in one single tally data. I can maintain in one single tally data. I can bill from this one location, principal location. As also, I can bill from another location by choosing the respective addresses, company addresses. Okay, I can maintain multiple addresses in one single company data. Then now we are going to see only the ledgers having multiple addresses. Okay. After activating this thing in F11 feature, when getting into the accounting ledger creation or in the alteration screen, the F12 configuration, F12 configuration provides you multiple addresses that should be set to yes. That should be set to yes. Then while setting it to yes, this provide multiple addresses will be available. Then when I activate this provide multiple addresses, I will get multiple mailing addresses. I'll be able to configure multiple mailing addresses like this, a separate screen that takes you to the mailing details of the particular location. In one single ledger, I may have multiple addresses configured over it. In that multiple addresses, full list of this phone numbers, mobile numbers. My simple, sincere suggestion is keep your tally masters, accounting masters as your real phone book or your database of your customer master. So these informations are most vital because at some point of time we can take just contact informations alone separately. All those things are possible. So this is the I simply request everybody to configure all the required contact information in the ledger master. Beyond that, statutory specific registration numbers, I can set the GST number for this location and the same ledger for the different location, different GST number. All those things I can set in the multiple addresses. The accounting ledger creation, multiple address types can be set with the respective statutory and taxation information with full contact information. Full contact information is nothing but your addresses, full addresses, phone numbers, email IDs, everything. Then coming to the desired grouping, as I said, the Tally has the flexibility of creating hierarchy, whatever hierarchy, as many layers as you possible. 28 predefined groups are available to enable a quick setup of accounting masters. Tally is just a plug and play to get started your accounting immediately once you install it. Therefore, they have given that the default groups. By default, expenses are grouped in indirect expenses and in direct and indirect expenses. Alternatively, the ledgers under expenses can be grouped based on your cost classification or your any other projection-based grouping of your operational cost. Either it could be some production cost, administration cost, selling and distribution cost kind of grouping arrangement, or like this fixed and variable cost or anything. You can give those classification in accounting groups. Under those accounting groups, you can have your regular ledgers so that your report will show you under your desired way of reporting. While altering accounting groups to the desired group classification, it is advisable to keep the default group undisturbed. You create some other groups or something, do not, it is just a precaution to you, so that when I migrate my data from one system to another system, or some exporting and importing any data, some external integration, those things would be easier once I have not touched the default grouping set. And similarly, stock groups can also be based on your desired classification. Here I have seen in so many cases where people are having in some companies, like they use some goods or kind of things like in a retail shop, the goods might be showcased in some shelf or something where some dedicated rack coding or something would be there. In Tally itself, those rack-wise classification also we can make it in a stock group level, and by using the stock group, we can classify your stocks rack-wise or in any other nature-wise as you wish. So using the stock group facility in a much more creative manner will certainly benefit you in the real-time environment, and it will certainly help you to maintain the tally itself at your desired expectation. Then at the stock group level, there is an advanced configuration called should quantities of items be added when questions will come. Why? Because under a stock group, we may have a number of stock items. When I see in a stock group, I should see what is the consolidated units under that particular group. To have those consolidated units figure, I should enable this particular feature, should quantities of items be added, provided under that particular stock groups, all the unit of measurement should be the same. Otherwise, it could not be added. So these are all some basic understanding that everyone might have known. Fine. Coming to the GST related most sought benefit out of the account environment is because by creating this ledger masters, we are thorough with the basic configurations asked by Tally, then your reports would be easier. Here, this state mentioning this state allows you to take the supply to intrastate or interstate supplies. Then this tax registration information, by selecting this registration type, the information directly takes to the B2B and B2C classification. Then the set alter GST details again, which has some other information. The composition, consumer regular, that is one thing. Assessee of other territory, there is a peculiar need of, there are some certain transaction which the supplier or your customer might be in India, but you need to in India or in your vicinity or in your own local place, but you need to put up IGST or you need to treat it as an export transaction. In that case, this assessee of other territory helps you. So all micro level, small things are taken care with relevant to GST. Then e-commerce operator. In an e-commerce operator, that tax collected at source facility is applicable. Where therefore, if I purchase from, if I sell my products through an e-commerce operator, I should have my e-commerce operator ledger. So for configuring that e-commerce operator ledger, here comes that question. Considering that deemed export for purchases, consider party as a deemed export. Deemed export, we used to call it as an merchant export kind of a thing. Those configuration is also there. Then party type, like here this information talks about the registration type. By giving the appropriate registration type, it takes you to the respective table. Then e-commerce, I told you. Then party type, deemed export, embassy, UIN, SEZ, all those things, GST related thing, has some specific reporting requirement in the GST reports, in GSTR 1 or GSTR 3B as the case may be. So by keeping these information ready or captured accurately, certainly most of the reports are plug and play reports only. So need not want to worry. What is the usual mistakes we do is we leave out few things while creating the ledger masters. Since we don't have any strict controls, we can have controls by configuring in security control, but people used to have some what to say, I used to say some easy takeaway mentality, like we can see later, we can see later. By this, if we leave anything, a crucial thing, at later point of time, that will consume more time. So duplication of work should not be there. That is the major pain of in the accounting environment. So you should not duplicate any work. Once you done it, do it at the best. Then you should not look back again. When configuring the GST rates, I think you might have all these experienced it. Just a glimpse of it. I'm just skipping it. I'm directly going to the rest of the crucial elements. The GST rate, it's set at the company level. Then GST rate, after setting at the company level, we can go and alter the GST rate in the product master level. The product master level, if it is in a particular from the company master level, it picks up the rates. If I want to change a particular grouping means I am selecting the particular grouping, I am setting the rate for that particular grouping. If I set the particular group rating, the particular group's rates alone getting changed. So these are also more flexible things happening on master creation itself. Then if you are a service industry, you need not have your product masters. In that case, I have in ledger master itself, I create my GST rates. Then common mistakes. Inventory values are affected, applicable to which type of ledgers. I should not activate that inventory masters in non-revenue accounts, like even non-revenue accounts apart from sales and purchases. It doesn't have any importance in other revenue accounts also. But if needed, you can go about. But be sure inventory values are affected if needed at the sales and purchases ledger accounts. Then only you can prepare invoices in invoices mode. You can prepare purchases in invoice mode, all those things. Altering the default types, groups, ledgers, that I have already told you. You have a flexibility of configuring so many layers of grouping arrangement, but do not touch upon the default ones. Incorporating opening balances without bill-wise breakup should be done. Otherwise, your outstandings would be a great headache. So these are all the smaller thing controls we should take care when we prepare our masters. Voucher types numbering, similar to statutory requirement. Statutory requirement, what I say is GST wants you to have only 16-digit consecutive numbering, preferably starting afresh. Financial year beginning. Maximum 16-digit only. Alphanumeric, special characters, hyphen, and the slash only. So these things have to be kept in mind. Many I have also seen that putting some spaces in between the names, putting some names. Then again they are complaining. So Tally shows this error. All those. And Tally is not showing that error. If you export those things with that specification, portal will reject that invoice. Before that, Tally is cautioning you. That is the main thing. So therefore, you have a idea about what the law requires. Then while choosing the voucher numbering, particularly auto manual and manual overriding, so make it don't forget to choose that avoid duplication. So prevent duplicates. You have to make that prevent duplicates. So this is one of the vital configuration. Then bank ledgers, without selecting the bank names, auto bank reconciliation features will not be available. So even selecting the bank names, people may find some difficulty over it. That you check upon with your Tally support people that port, some availability of ports and internet connectivity, all those things should be there, because Tally has designed so many banks check formats and so many banks statement formats, many things have been incorporated. So this is one of the finest facility, banking, reconciliation, check printing, and so many things available in Tally. For that, selecting the particular bank is vital. Then type of supply, which is also relevant to our GST related one. So type of ledger at the ledger master level or at the stock item master level is important to have our inward supply classification into input services. If I select the goods as a type of supply, it will be taken care for inputs. If I select services in my type of supply, it will be taken to a input services. So ignoring alerts at the ledger master creation during statutory information, that is also to be avoided. Few alerts are while configuring PAN number, if I say wrong PAN number, Tally shows you this invalid PAN number. Don't never ever skip to this type of warning. Just stay with that for a moment and correct that PAN number and go about. This only will enhance your productivity, enhance your efficiency. This only will reduce your future time. Sorry, reduce your future time, extra time spending over this particular subject. Then, while typing the GST number, if not specified after selecting the regular, then it will show this message. Or if you put a wrong GST number, it will show this message. Do not never ever ignore these two messages. Stay few minutes, correct those things, put as correct GST number, then go about. So that saves a lot of time in your reporting. And recollecting few useful masters, I will finish it up in another 5 minutes. Sorry, I'll finish it up. Sir, Prithvi sir, I can continue. I believe in another 5 minutes I finish it up.
Yeah. Okay. Please carry on.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Then creating the tax ledger in other groups. This is one of the vital part. I wanted everyone to understand this thing, because in GST, that CGST, SGST, IGST, whatever be the tax ledger, that is to be captured under duties and taxes. But in so many other reasons, at the year end, we want the tax ledgers to be coming under some other accounting groups. In that case, if we change that accounting groups, this behavioral aspect of duties and taxes changes. So therefore, to retain that behavioral aspect, I should activate this F12 configuration, allow creation of tax ledger under this thing. And when I activate this configuration, allow creation of tax ledger under other groups, this behaves as a duties and tax ledger option comes. If I say yes, then it asks for the GST, and I can again take the central tax, state tax, and whatever be the peculiar configuration for duties and taxes. This is one of the finest thing which has been welcomed by so many chartered accountants. I have seen in so many workshops and seminars, they have welcomed this particular feature. Then in discount also, discount in discount ledger creation itself, I can select these two type of ledgers. I think how many of you have literally have had this experience, I don't know. Anyway, by selecting this discount, what will come is in your sales invoice, again in the F12 configuration, I can have this activate cash or trade discount. This field will come. Once this field comes, there are two options. I can put a percentage wise discount for a stock item, as well as I can put a value based discount for a particular stock item. Earlier it was there in the column, but people many have the requirement that, sir, I should give discount for each and stock item, but that has to be consolidated and should be shown at the bottom level of total discount so much. So that has been taken care now. For this thing, you have to activate in the ledger master discount type. That is the first configuration. Ledger master type of ledger discount has to be configured. Then in your invoice F12 configuration, activate cash and trade discount. This discount field will come. There you can fix up a percentage or a value. Either of these things you can put it up. Whatever, I can have 2-3 products here. Each product different percentage of discount, different value of discount. All these things will be consolidated and will be displayed under this discount ledger automatically. Even this minus figure will also come automatically. I need not want to put it again. So this is the facility available right now. Then as far as the rounding system is concerned, earlier we might be configuring under our voucher types and where as an amount of rounding we will use to configure. But here in the ledger itself, it is coming like type of ledger, invoice rounding, that takes care of normal rounding. You should set up a rounding limit, ones or tens or whatever be the thing. By selecting this ledger, it takes care of the above part and what is the rounding needed rounding, it will round it off. So without any further configuration. Coming to the exceptional cases, these are the most sought exception I have picked up from the Alias recent help menu, and I'll just quickly give how it is been related to the masters. In GST, here this country state dealer type is not mentioned, is one exception we are getting. Here, if you say correct state or the correct country at the master level, ledger master, then this problem won't come. That is one takeaway. Then beyond that, so many things. I'll just quickly glance through what a tax type, tax rate not shown in the sense. In the particular sales or purchases ledger, I have not missed. I have not set the particular tax rate. Even in the product master, I have not the tax rate. So most of these configurations, and other than this mismatch or other than this, what to say, the rounding, most of these things, even this information required for generating table wise, all those things are relevant to the master creation only. So for best and 100% error free GST returns, you should be cautious on masters only. Then again, this is one of the mistakes UQC is missing, wherein in the numbers I should match the units of my choice to the unit quantity code of the GST portal. This is a way people used to skip away this thing when once creating the unit of master. So therefore, keep a basic caution on all master creation. That is the one word I used to convey out of this entire session. So having an extra caution on the master creation, that ends up maximum amount of difficulties, hardships you are facing at the reporting level. So since Tally is made up of so much of flexibility, people are using that flexibility in a different manner, and they themselves complicates things. So I require everybody not to take it that much easy. So have some time, put some time on configuring things in a better manner. Even you see here one more transaction coming. Nature of transaction. Nature of transaction means sales ledger. I have not configured the right nature of transaction. Either it is a purchase taxable or interstate purchase, sale taxable or interstate sale taxable. Here again, this is the country state that we have already seen it. Then here the product classification, rate type, which is not mentioned. So in a product master, if I have not set the product rate, HSN classification, all those things, that is again. So and then again here tax rate type, it's again shows up you for this sales ledger and purchase ledger. There is a nature of transaction. These are all the things which are available in the master itself. Once you are not sure on initial master creation, these sort of things, alerts will come at the later stage. These are all the time consuming one. Don't never ever end up with this thing. Have those controls in the master creation itself. This is another one set of example. Okay, this ends up my discussion over here. I'll just open house for the question now. Okay, so my final request to all of the audience here is most of the errors are lying at the master creation itself. Master creation, what I mean is ledger in your stock item. Ledger and stock item. Have some extra time in it while creating that masters. Then almost all the problems will be resolved. Almost all the problems will be resolved. Anyway, I'm just expecting any questions in the chat window. If anybody is there, have a question over there, or I hand over the mic to the organizer. Prithvi sir or Badri can take up.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for a very detailed discussion in terms of how we can really configure and make use of Tally. I'm sure it was very helpful. Any questions? Shoot. But yes, I kind of echo what Mr. Eliarasan was mentioning. It is very important to take care of things at the configuration level, because once we miss something at this level, then we'll never be able to reconcile with anything that will come subsequently. So, guys, I think it is very important to note the way the configuration has to happen, as explained by him. Because I'm just repeating the same thing. Anything that goes wrong here will only mean that our reports or whatever we want to generate subsequently.
Sir, we couldn't hear you. Badri sir.
Yeah, we can hear. Please go ahead.
Badri, we couldn't hear you, I believe. There won't be any questions, I believe. There is no, I think.
Yeah, I don't see anybody who has posted questions here. Guys, if anybody has questions, please, you can unmute yourself and ask them also.
Certainly, yes, yeah. You're welcome.
You're okay with that, no, sir?
Sir, yeah. Let them go ahead.
So please feel free to ask that. Sir, I have a question. In Tally, I'm a GST guy, so I'll ask you something in the context of GST only. If I have, if I am operating in multiple states, let's say Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, I have two
Yes.
GST, but company is same. I will be able to generate invoices using the respective addresses, though the Tally is same, sir.
No, that I couldn't hear fully.
Tally, yeah, in Tally, I have only one, which is called A Company.
Yes.
Two registrations, two warehouses in one factory in Karnataka and say one warehouse in Tamil Nadu. So I have two STIN.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm able to get your question. Okay. Yes, sir. Certainly, I can raise an invoice under one particular Tally data across different locations. But the problem here is we need to have, actually, there is a concept called distinct entity in GST itself. Therefore, we should have, because even in our annual reporting, annual returns or everything, our law requires us to prepare separate set of books of accounts for a different GST number. Okay, that's why even though we have a facility of having a single Tally data for multiple locations, okay, it is better to have for every GST number separate Tally data, because our law wants that. Okay. GST wise, the books of accounts, our law wants it. Therefore, it is advisable to have a GST number wise Tally data. Yes, sir.
Okay, understood, sir. Got it.
Got it.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't see any more questions. Let us close with this. Once again, I thank you very much for sparing your time and sharing this presentation and aspects of configuration with us. I look forward to engaging with you on more, because I think one of them also has said the time is too low. So we definitely look forward to engaging more with you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
And Rupa, please make note of this. We'll maybe reconnect with sir sometime when towards the end of June and do another session.
Okay, sir. I thank once again
So much, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Being.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank you.